RBS Business Research Academy welcomes to you in the lecture number 8. In this lecture today, we are going to discuss about the mediation analysis in the SmartPLS. Dear friends, nowadays, the mediation and the moderation have become the buzzword in the field of the research in the social sciences. And the most of the time, you are listening about the mediation and the moderation. And whenever I go in the different the seminars, the researchers, they often use the mediation or the moderation in their research. So basically, because of that one, the mediation analysis has become much more important. This is the lecture number 8, theoretical lecture. In this one, I have discussed about the mediation of the concept of the mediation, because that's very important before working practically on the SmartPLS. My name is Dr. Rahim Sumro, and I'm from the Shah University, Pakistan. I'm happy to inform you that I have also awarded this certificate from the PLS Academy, Hamburg University, Hamburg, Germany. These are the 9 courses which I covered from this academy, and recently this the certificate was awarded to me. Okay. Important thing is about the importance of the mediation analysis. Why the mediation analysis are important? It is clear from here that the mediation design or mediation structure have become at the heart of the social sciences and the basic research. That means that either it is social science or basic research, most of the time people are using the mediation. Now people are talking about the mediation. So that's why the mediation has become much more popular across the world. So vital theory development is very important, or vital to develop the theory. Then I think the mediation analysis are very important over there, and it is going to be the very important contribution in the field of the in the scientific field of the social sciences. And nowadays it is an indispensable tool. Everyone is using this one. That's why it has become much more important. And now it is basically creating a relationship between the exogenous and the endogenous variable. So now the mediator is basically in between the independent variable and the dependent variable. And then, dear friends, to illustrate the mediation, typically the standard technique and procedure test theories. So now either you want to develop theory or you want to test the theory, but this type of the test theory means already the theories are available, and then you want to test now through inserting a mediator over there. You can test the theory in your own dynamics, in your own settings. Therefore, the mediation model has become increasingly universal. That means that across the world, people are working on the mediation, and almost mandatory. Almost in every research, the it has become mandatory, especially in the social sciences, and especially when you're working in the latent variable. Even though the people who are working in the observed variable, they are also putting the sum of the observed variable as a mediator. So now it's not only study that the unobserved variable or latent variable can only be a mediator, but your observed variable can also be a mediator as a mediator. Even your demographic variable can also be the mediator. Evidence shows that the scholars today are placing increased emphasis on the mediation model. So now it's another reason, that means the importance of the mediation or the popularity of the mediation. This is another reason why people are using, how much it is popular. Wood et al. In the 2008, he reviewed the top 5 management journals, and these are the names of the top 5 management journals. And the time was the 25 years, from the 1981 to 2005, and he almost found out the 409 research paper where the mediation analysis was done. So from this one, it is clearly show how much is popular. Now this is a story of the 25 years old, okay, and now it is the 2021. So almost the 15 years have been gone, and now if someone repeats the same work, like the reviewing the research paper from these top 5 journals, then you will find a highly increased number of the studies who have involved or who have used the mediator or mediation in their research papers. Before discussing mediation analysis, we should understand the basic mediation model. So what is the basic mediation model? So in the basic mediation model, what the mediator is there is the third variable. When you are inserting the third variable between the two variables, it is called as a mediator. Simple is a simple definition. And then here, for example, this is our x is our independent variable and y is our dependent variable. So when you want to check the impact of the independent variable on the dependent variable through a mediator, it is through a third variable. That third variable called is a mediator. And then a simple mediation model consists of at least three variables. At least there should be the three variable for any mediator, any mediating model. Because if there is no third variable, that means there is no definition. So normally in a simple model, like that one is an independent variable and another is a dependent variable. When you are inserting the third one, it becomes a mediator. So now a model to be called as a mediating model, then at least there should be the three variables in that model. Mediation occurs when the third variable intervene between the two variables, okay? And then more precisely, a change in exogenous construct. Now the change in independent variable, okay, it will change, yes, it will change the moderate variable, and ultimately this moderate variable will change the exogenous. So now this change will start from the independent variable and it will be appear in the dependent mediator, and then the corresponding change will also change the value of your dependent variable. So that means we are going to check out the impact of the independent variable on dependent variable through a mediator. So that's why the change is there. And this change, this it governs the whole structure. It governs the whole process or mechanism of your mediation. So whenever you want to do the mediation, so definitely the mediator will govern all these, because all the things are revolving around that mediator. For this purpose, it's very important you should have a prior theoretical or conceptual support. Like that, whenever you are adding a variable as a mediator, so you should have a certain theoretical reasoning or conceptual or some logical reasoning why you are inserting a particular variable as a mediator. So most of the time when I read studies, research paper, or when I listen to some of the research seminar, I ask from the people why you are inserting this one as a dependent variable. For example, motivation is there. Any other variable, why you are inserting this one as a like the mediator, they have no answer. So now, if you cannot justify, then probably you should not use the same one as a mediator. Now the mediating effect. In the mediating effect, we divide this effect into the direct and indirect effect. So the direct effect is simply the effect of the reputation on loyalty, or in simply you can say the effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable. Now reputation is our independent variable, loyalty is our dependent variable. So now indirect effect. Now is also called as a mediating effect. When you are inserting a mediator, it becomes now a mediating model. So because there is a mediator. So here, if you see the mediator, explain how the reputation translates into the high loyalty. Okay, so that is the job of the mediator, where if you are inserting the mediator into your model. Now this is the simple the model is there, where one is where this is our independent variable and this is our dependent variable. So now this is a direct effect. This is the direct effect. And then another one is now here the same one is there, attitude and the behavior. It's a direct effect are both is there. And then when you want to check the impact of the attitude and behavior through the intention, now it becomes the indirect effect. Now this one A is an indirect effect. This A is our indirect effect and B is our indirect effect. So now there are the three: direct effect, indirect effect, and the total effect. So then another thing is about when you move on another slide. Now it has become example of bar diagram. Here the same thing is there, but additionally these blue means the columns are here, the mediator, and the predictor are, we can say the IB, independent variable, and this predicted are the outcome variable. So now these are the model. So now this is our data mediating model, where the mediator is involved. And as I already told you that the three effects are there: direct, indirect, and total. This is the direct effect, where the P1, Y1, impact or effect on the P2. Now this path we are calling is a P path 3, third path. And indirect path, there are two indirect paths, P1 and the P2. So now these are the two indirect paths, and then the total effect. That means the P1, P2, and P3. All are the direct effects. So now how to calculate the direct effect? First, direct effect, total effect. The first one is a direct effect. This is P3 is a direct effect plus indirect effect. So now plus indirect effect means that you have to multiply both indirect effect. Multiply P1 into the P2, and then what is the result is there. Then you have to place this result here, and now then you should add the impact of the direct effect and the impact of indirect effect, and then both will become our total effect. Dear friends, this is another very important, our mediator analysis procedure in the PLS-SEM. So what it says that assess the significance of the direct effect without including the mediator variable in the PLS path model. Here you're looking at a simple path model where the direct, where one is independent variable and is a dependent variable. Direct effect is you are looking here. So now if the relationship between the direct effect and indirect effect, if it's not significant, then no mediation is possible. So the relationship between the mediate, the independent variable, if this is significant means statistically significant. So there are three these intervals are there: 90%, 95%, and 99%. Most of the time, people are using in the social science is 95%. It is a confident interval. If this relationship between the independent is not significant at the 95% confident interval, then no mediation is possible. And then if it is a significant, if the value is less, is more than 95%, then it's a significant. And then what? Include the mediator variable in the PLS path model and assess the significance of the indirect effect. Then now see here, we have added here the model mediator has been added in the model, and now we have to check the impact of the indirect we have to check the impact of the indirect effect. So the indirect effect, if the significant effect is, if the direct effect is not significant, no mediation. So when you have inserted one variable, then even though you have to check the impact of the direct impact, if the direct impact is not significant, then no mediation. Because here basically you are going to compare apple and orange. When you are both are different, how you can do when there is no relationship between the apple and orange alternative, when there is no relationship between the two variables, then definitely there is no mediation cannot be calculated or cannot be happen. If the direct impact is significant, then we have the variance accounted for. How much variance is being shared by the mediator? So now, if the VF, the value of VF is more than 80%, full mediation is there. And if it is in between the 20 to 80%, the partial mediation is there. And if it is less than VF, value of VF is less than 20%, no mediation. So these are some of the guidelines which we should keep in our mind. Another thing is a complementary and the mediation. So the complementation occurs when the mediated effect is there. Now the A into B direct and mediated effect both exist, and the point the same direction. If the points are in the same direction, we can call is a complementary mediation. And competitive mediation when both things are there. There is a mediated effect is also there, and the direct effect is also there, but both are in the opposite direction. It is called competitive mediation. And then indirect only mediation when the mediated effect A and B exist but no direct effect. So now in this case, mediation, indirect effect, indirect only mediation. But when the direct only non-mediation, direct effect exists but no indirect effect. So in this case, it is direct only non-mediation. So these are some of the concepts are there which are important to keep in the mind. This is very interesting. Like the procedure is the mediation analysis procedure. It will start by following this diagram. So I think now you are well aware regarding the direct effect, indirect effect, and the total effect. Okay. So if you are still unaware about the direct, indirect, adapter, now this is a for your guidance. And then for example, if the P1 into P2 significant, if the indirect effect are significant, if yes, then what to do? If the P3 is significant, then if it is yes, then the is P3 and P2, 1, 2, 3, all are positive. Then the complementary partial mediation is there. And if now the no, there is a positive relationship, there is a negative relationship, then there is a competitive partial relationship. Please remember the last slide, the same was there. Okay, and then if the P3 is significant, if it's not significant, it means that the indirect only full mediation. And then when the case is no, maybe P1 and P2 are not significant, and then is P3 significant? Like this is a P significant. Direct effect is significant. If the direct effect is not significant, then no mediation is possible. No, simply no more mediation. And if yes, then the direct only, but no mediation. So these are some of the criteria are there, which I think we should keep in our mind again. And then this is the when you have the more than one mediator. In this one, mediator 1 and the mediator 2. And P1, P2, P3, P4, P all are the indirect. Except P3, P1, P2, P4, and P all are, these four are the indirect effect, and the P3 is our direct effect. So model element, direct effect, P3, you know, this is the P3. And then the if specific indirect effect, P1 into P2 and the P4 into P5. So now P1, P2, P4, and P5. And P means the path. Total indirect effect, P1 into P2, now in total effect. Now this is a method to calculate the direct effect, indirect effect, and the total effect. And then testing mediating effect. Okay, individual mediating effect when the M1 is only, when the one mediator, that it's called individual mediating effect. And compare specific indirect effect P1 into P2 with the direct effect. And then another thing is about the joint mediating effect, like the joint mediating means the effect of the mediator 1 and the mediator 2. Okay, and then always include the all hypothesized mediators into your model, and do not test them sequentially, but test them which means at the same time or simultaneously to all these ones. And then the model elements, another is the serial mediation. Serial mediation is there. Now then this is the model elements where the direct effect, indirect effect, total effect, specific indirect effect we have to check. And then the testing mediated effects, individual mediating effect when the M is only one, compared with the indirect effect P1 into the P2, and the serial mediating effect when what's happened here, that first M and then M2. First we have to check the impact of the M1 as a mediator, and then we have to check the M2 as a mediator. So it's a serial, in the series wise we have to check out. Joint mediating effect, compare all the total direct effect with the direct effect. So the difference between the last one and this one is that in the last one, in simultaneously we were required to check the impact of all the mediators, and here in the series wise we have to check the impact of all mediators which are in the model. Now these are this is another guideline, total effect. I think you know about the total effect, indirect effect. Okay, and complete mediation, when complete mediation occurs. So that's important to know when complete mediation occurs. So this form of the mediation exists if the predictor independent variable exert its total influence via mediating. So now there means when the independent variable, there means exerts or it put all the impact or influence on the dependent variable through the your mediating variable, it is called the complete mediation. And when the And another thing, the partial mediation. Now, this form of the mediation exists if the predictor IB exerts some of the influence via mediator and some of not. That means that partial mediation, that means in this one, the mediation happens the two parts. One is a indirect, like your independent variable exerts some of the influence through the independent variable on the dependent variable, and some of the influence directly without any mediator. So this is the situation. This is called is a partial mediation. And the last but not the least, this is no mediation. It means the mediation has not occurred if there is no relationship between the independent variable. And now this is a very important research paper. If you find time, please go through it. This is a reconsidering the Baron-Kenny and the myth and the truth about the mediation analysis. Most they means whatever the different graph I showed you. Now I have got from this research paper. It's a wonderful research paper because basically the Baron and Kenny, these are the pioneer of the mediation. So now they have worked a lot on the mediation analysis. So now this paper is basically what are the myths and the truth are there. So now these myths and truth have been explained by these three authors in this research paper. So that's why it is also important to think. So by the way, its link is available at the end of my blog. And then another wonderful book which I want to share with you, that's about the mediation analysis issues and recommendations. By the way, my video number 9 is available on this one. In the video number 9, I have discussed this research paper. There are total 5 issues and recommendations are. It's a wonderful research paper. I think if you find time, you can also go through this book, this research paper. And the same, that I've also put its link below. Then you can download from this link, and then you can read out this one. So now, this is the chapter number 7 of this book. Okay. Again, if you require this book, I can provide you its free e-copy, by if you send me email at this my email address. And these are some of the subtopics which have been discussed in this chapter. And then last, thank you very much for watching this video. And please do something for this channel, because this channel is for you. And if you find justified that you can subscribe, you can you can comment on it, and you can like the video. If you think that the video is sufficiently capable to do all these things, then please do it. And then I hope very soon we will meet another video. Till that time, bye bye.